Nicole Huntsman here from moderncosmic.com. We have got our sun sign compatibility here on this video. Gemini are the people born from May 21st through to June 20th. You'd be a Gemini sun. Gemini is a zodiac sign ruled by Mercury, and I always think of a flock of birds chirping at each other and talking to each other. Gemini energy is really busy. We've got Mercury, which orbits the sun in 88 days. That's the year. That's a year for Mercury, right? It's very quick. So Mercury types, whether it's a Gemini or it's a Virgo, they have a nervous energy to them and a busyness. Gemini applies it a little bit more to the mind, but Virgo does too. But it's communication. It's this sort of extroversion of this busyness. So a Gemini will, when they text you, or anyone who has a lot of Gemini in their chart, it's like long texts, or they'll keep in touch with you, or they really need communication from their partner. They need that kind of contact. That's what they're good at. Also, Geminis, they need to be moving. They love to try new things. They always have new ideas. They're quite bubbly and refreshing, and they can change their minds a lot and change their life direction a lot because they almost have too many ideas and too many things going on. They can also be a little bit fidgety, mentally and physically, a little ADD. It's kind of a Mercury trait. Our high-functioning Geminis, we have someone who's easy and breezy. They've got a cheerfulness, a versatility to them. They're good at multitasking. They're rational for the most part. There are other things to look at in the chart that will suggest otherwise, but they're open to new experiences. They're spontaneous and fun, and they've got a good sense of humor, conversationalists. They're just kind of happy, happy-go-lucky. That's very Gemini. If you're pure Gemini, they don't wade too much in those deeper waters of deep emotion and existentialist feeling or thought. A low-functioning Gemini, on the low side, they can be overly loquacious, right? They can text you too much. They can maybe not recognize when it's time to just we don't have to be talking the whole time. We can sit in silence. Remember, you need to look at the person's moon sign, their Mercury, and other things in their chart and see where that sun is actually placed, which house it's placed in. That's going to adjust this because Gemini is mutable, so it's quite overridable by other signs that are in the birth chart, okay? But for the most part, they're talkative. And if they're not extroverted with their talkativeness, then it's happening inside of them, okay? So they're going to analyze everything, and they're going to have a lot going on inside of them. So it's almost like the quiet Gemini is the one you really need to worry about because there's even more going on inside of them than the one that's extroverting it. All right, they have an anxiety to them. They can be flirty, not really anything necessarily meant by it, but they are quite flirty with the opposite sex. It can be hard to pin down. They can have problems with commitment. They can have like a Peter Pan thing happening where they just want to be like a little kid for forever and they won't grow up and, like buckle down to the realities of life. So they can be a little bit childish in a different way than Aries. It's kind of like they just don't want to take things seriously. They want to be free to... It's almost even just they change their mind so much that they can't just stay focused on one path. Gemini in love. Geminis like things to be fresh, light, bubbly, like I've said, they're little butterflies flittering about from flower to flower. In love, they enjoy conversation. They have to have conversation. They have to have communication, whether it is verbal, whether it is written through text or letters, or sharing music with each other, or sharing poetry or things that have been read. They are always like talking to someone. True Gemini is quite talkative and social, and sometimes in romantic relationships, because they have this sweetness to them and this lightness and easiness, when they really fall in love with someone, they're not quite sure what to do with these feelings. It's kind of like, oh, geez, like it's bringing them, they're usually up in their headspace or this throat chakra area, right? This is where they operate. And it brings them down into the part of the body where there are no words. They can't put words on the feelings they're feeling. And that is really uncomfortable for someone who is used to and excels at putting words to things. So many times they run from commitment because they don't know what to do with it. They're like, what is this thing, okay? So in love, Geminis many times have a harder time with people who are perhaps more watery or more feelers, this kind of thing. They like to keep things light. And again, look at the other signs in the chart. Look at where that sun is placed to give you an indicator. If you've got someone who's got multiple planets and air signs, then that's what we're talking about. Gemini's expectations in love. So they need space, but they also need a lot of conversation and repartee and connection, which is a funny little thing, right? They just need space to know they can go and like wander off and do their little thing and then come back. They've learned some new things and you've got to learn some new things. You have new stuff to talk about, new things to enjoy together, okay? They like jokes. They have like a little naughty sense of humor. They love playing together. They don't like emotional mind games. They do not like passive aggression. The water signs rule that realm, okay? The water signs are like professional at passive aggression and emotional manipulation. Geminis are just going to be like, what are you doing? That doesn't work for me. And then they'll just flit off somewhere else, okay? You can't tie them down. If you try to tie them down, you are fighting a losing battle. So, okay. Also, they don't like feeling a sense that their partner's leaning on them for their emotional validation. You know, Gemini, they need a partner who is strong on their own, who, you know, doesn't need to be validated by them. You can't be clingy with a Gemini. That doesn't work for them. So Gemini's biggest fear. Now, because we have someone who is quite flighty, and they can be shallow at times, or they can appear shallow. It's just because they're interested in so many things. They're going a million miles a minute, and they got so much stuff going on in their head, and they, you know, going all these different directions, and they have this genius to them, you know, this Gemini Mercury quickness and quicksilver thing happening. They're afraid that maybe they really don't have the emotional depth, okay? A lot of times Geminis have been accused by loved ones in their lives that you know, can't you take this seriously? Why can't you commit to me? You know, these kinds of things. And the Gemini, this is an issue for them, something that they really worry about because, as I said earlier, that heart space is not their natural habitat, okay? They are cerebral and they are, you know, throat chakra, they're communicators. Heart stuff, intuition, this does not have words. So unless that Gemini has some strong placements in their chart that they need some water placements or even some fire, which will bring them down into their body at least, or earth, you know, this is going to be a fear of theirs. They're going to worry that they don't have emotional depth. So don't ever accuse them of being shallow, right? See them and meet them where they're at and help them put words to their feelings. Help them put words to the things that they can't voice, okay? That's how you can help them overcome this fear and help them to grow. Pisces. Pisces Sun are our individuals born from February 19th through March 20th. Pisces types are, you know, the two fish swimming in opposite directions. This suggests the mutable nature of the Pisces, the occasional go with the flow nature, and the passivity that sometimes can accompany a Pisces personality type, where on the high side it can be flexibility and they can sort of, again, go with the flow. It's better to be a willow, you know, that's going to bend in the wind rather than an oak tree that's got branches that are about to be blasted off. But it can also be going with the flow without actively deciding the direction of their little swimming flow, okay? Now, with Pisces also ruled by Neptune, this is Neptunian energy to me is this higher octave of Venus. You know, Venus is our planet that's to do with love and harmonizing and beauty, but it's more of a pleasure-based, kind of almost a selfish version of love. Neptune is the love that is compassion. It's the Christed, selfless version of love. It's self-sacrifice. It's that higher ideal of love, and it would be the love that holds the universe together. So when you've got that translated through a sun sign and through a personality type, you have someone who has a natural compassion to them. And there's also this sensitivity and this sponge-like quality to a Pisces because they understand the oneness. So they understand the connection between themselves and other people, meaning they also see deeper levels of other humans, and they see the soul level, and they have compassion for people. Like they get why people are terrible at times and wonderful at other times, and they are okay with kind of sitting with all of that, and they're very accepting. And unlike my dogs who are fighting with each other, they're very accepting of people's flaws and faults. And sometimes that means they get themselves into situations where they're in unhealthy relationships, where there's abuse or there's, if not physical, some sort of kind of them being taken advantage of. That can happen with our Pisces types. Pisces men sometimes will go after the female as sort of the knight in shining armor because he needs to have this higher purpose he's serving. So if he sees someone who needs him, who needs to be healed, he will then try to step into that role. Pisces females as well. Pisces females are like notorious for going for kind of the bad boy, thinking that she can help him clean up his act and that he will finally fall in love and finally come to this place of harmony and balance in his life and be happy through her sort of all-sacrificing love. Of course, we kind of know where that story goes, and it's not really fairy tale. The ending, usually the Pisces end up being disillusioned by the relationships, hurt, and they, a lot of times, the thing of Pisces too is there can be, we'll go into the high functioning, low functioning, but there can be an emotional enmeshment that happens. So with that, actually, let's move into the functions. Let's move into high functioning and low functioning. So high functioning Pisces, you've got someone, again, compassionate, loving, they're sensitive to their partner's needs. They recognize when you need something and they're willing to fill that need. They're very comfortable in that role of taking care of people's needs. They're self-sacrificing. There's a kindness there. There is a go with the flow quality too. They're going to be devoted to their partner, and wherever that partner wants to go, many times a Pisces will defer to the partner. They're intuitive. They've got this egoless quality to them, which makes them feel kind of like old souls. It feels like they're getting everything. We're still kind of like, each of us sort of maybe focused on a certain part of relating. It's like the Pisces gets the whole thing, and so they're just kind of sitting back watching you. Just kind of like laid back and going, oh, you're going to do that right now. Okay. You know, there can be that quality to Pisces. There's just wisdom there. But also, you know, with this tendency to give, and to take care of people, and to not express what it is that they need. A lot of times Pisces are, because they're so like egoless, they're just like, whatever. And go with the flow, so they just don't like say what they need. Their partner, they could end up with partners. They do a lot of times end up with partners take advantage of them, or that take advantage of their good graces and don't reciprocate the same kind of love. Also, another thing would be they've got a natural intuition, as all of the water signs do. There's a psychic gift there, and it's sort of a knowingness when it deals with other people's emotions and the people's where someone else is sort of sitting, and they just kind of know things. That's Piscean. Okay, low functioning Pisces. Big issue with Pisces and Virgo is the issue of self-martyrdom. Taking on, you know, for the group, for the family, like being a mother who is a Pisces who, let's say, has an Aries moon and, you know, decides to be a stay-at-home mom, but the whole time she's regretting the decision or feeling like she has to constantly stop herself from doing the things she really wants to do. Pisces energy can be one that is so self-deprecating or like ego. It's like they're being purified from the ego kind of a deal. So it's like the egos, they don't like expressing their wants and their needs sometimes, a lot of times. They have a hard time telling you if what you're doing is crossing a boundary for them, because they're all about blending boundaries. They're like, it's like taking mushrooms where the boundaries between two people go away, or so I hear. That's what they say. And also, you know, they could be codependent. And again, this is codependency not from the necessarily the diagnostic manual's version of what codependency is, okay? We're just saying, think of the expression of codependency and what that looks like when you've got one partner who is the codependent, who's got another, whose partner they see as having a weakness or a flaw or an addiction of some kind, right? And their job is to kind of enable that person and to also indirectly control that person's life by being needed by the person who has the addiction, right? And in turn, that gives them a sense of safety and security. So Pisces can step into these roles quite frequently. Anyone who's got 12th house, 6th house, Pisces sun, moon, Virgo sun, moon, even rising sign to a certain extent, will experience these relationships. It's just part of your soul path with this energy. It's these relationships that are a little bit unbalanced and unfair, where one person's serving the other one without being served in return. Okay. And also those issues of the codependent relationship, perhaps with a narcissist. Again, I'm using these terms loosely, okay, to just help you understand, to sort of illustrate what I'm trying to say here. So you could see a Pisces with a narcissistic type personality where the Pisces takes care of this narcissist's needs, does everything for them, cleans their house, takes care of their pets, does their laundry, blah, 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 whatever, pays the bills, and really kind of gets nothing in return. And in fact, that narcissist actually ends up leaving them or cheating on them. You know, that kind of thing. That's a Pisces it can be a Pisces lot in life. Pisces has to learn that they're worthy of receiving that love in return, and that even though you're seeing the soul in somebody, they can still, all of us have beautiful souls, all of us, right? But sometimes in this particular incarnation, we may not be operating and behaving in a way that we're allowing that good part of us to be expressed. We might express the asshole side of us. And so just the Pisces need to be careful that they are really clear in their romantic relationships about where their partner's coming from, and not what they are projecting onto the partner or what they think the partner is like on the inside, and that waiting game where you're waiting for that sweet part to come out, because it's most likely never going to come out. Also with Pisces, they can be a little elusive. They can sometimes, with a partner might have a hard time pinning them down. Like, how do you really feel? What are you really thinking about this? The partner might always kind of feel like the Pisces is holding something back. And they can be. Or they can just be typical Pisces where they kind of don't know themselves. They're not quite sure. They're like, oh, I don't know. It just is. That's a Pisces sentimentality. The codependency I mentioned, they can also, at times, Pisces can have this need for validation from a partner. This is an unhealthy Pisces. Again, this is a Pisces who's wanting to merge and and mesh with the partner in a way that's not healthy. And because Pisces is this nebulous, mutable energy, if they have a really strong partner, the partner will give them shape and structure, and they'll feel like they have a purpose and a meaning and a belonging, and then they'll kind of know what to do with themselves. So a lot of times Pisces types will really want this partner to kind of make things make sense for them. They may already know what they know in this really subconscious way, but they need this partner who can externalize that for them, so they'll project onto the partner. And so hopefully they're not projecting the part of them that needs to be seen as this savior or this healer in a negative way. Hopefully they can find a partner where it works, where they can express that in a positive way of interdependent love. So Pisces in love. So here we've got our givers of the zodiac. These are, Pisces have this sort of perfected sense of what self-sacrifice is. They get it. They get, why are you being selfish? They get what it means to be the opposite of, why are you being selfish? They're the ones that know how to just give without expecting anything in return. It's just genuinely just giving. So with Pisces, we have the givers of our zodiac. These are the compassionate souls that know how to heal another human through a very soulful method. They're able to see you for who you really are, and I think many times that's all that someone needs, is to really be seen. But the other person's not always ready to be seen. The other person's not always ready to be healed. So sometimes in love, they can be a little disappointed when they're waiting around for someone to sort of improve themselves, and this person never kind of rises up to the level that the Pisces knows that person is at. They just get here and never up to here. But with the Pisces, this ability in a relationship to sort of, they can shape themselves because they've got this flexibility with their personality, and this mutability, this sort of I was thinking of them as a mermaid rather than the fish. That to me is a perfect symbol for a Pisces. It's this beautiful mermaid shimmering in the distance that the partner can never get to. It's that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You can never quite get there. There's an elusive quality. And I have a sense that a Pisces themselves never fully knows themselves, And through partnership, many times that merge with a partner, it's almost like they can sublimate or send their own ego energy through the partner and see it reflected in the partner's behavior and actions, and then they can understand themselves better. If that makes any sense. That was really quite deep or abstract, so I hope it made sense. With Pisces, their expectations, though, in love, they have this idea of the soulmate, the soul union, which is really what they want. And so hopefully, you're healthy Pisces and you found someone else who's coming from that same place, and someone you can merge with in a healthy way, where you've got an interdependent relationship and this deep connected love, but it's not operating from a place of needing to control the partner or needing to have the partnership give you security, okay? The boundaries, that's the one thing, they want their boundaries kind of eliminated between themselves and their partner. They want no boundaries. They want a connection that's very pure. So, that can be uncomfortable for some people. Some people don't want to have the foundation taken out from underneath their building, which is, Pisces can do that. All the water signs, Scorps can too, and so can Cancers. They can kind of try and build underneath your building, you're like, whoa, you need to back it up and put it out here, not under my building, because that's really uncomfortable. You're taking from my security for your own security, okay? So Pisces need to be able to have that merge with the partner, have that that openness with the partner and that connectedness while allowing their partner freedom to feel however they feel. The partner, may not always want to be mushy, squished up against you, literally or figuratively. All right. Pisces' biggest secret, fear, is kind of like that they'll drift off into oblivion in a sense. Now, this is quite abstract, but imagine it's this idea that the earthly life is not really meant for them. It's this idea that they're from elsewhere, they don't belong here, that they can never quite find that other twin soul, that twin flame that they can blend with and merge with in perfect harmony and unison and oneness. And because of that they will drift away. So the emotions are deep for a Pisces, and they can go to places that are, full of despair if they feel like they don't have hope for their future, for this oneness idea, for this total acceptance of who they are on a very deep soul level, the way that they will see and accept someone else. So their fear is ultimately just kind of floating out into the sea alone, into the oblivion, really, into the nothingness, the abyss. So they need a partner that's grounded, that is directed and can kind of give some shape to the parts of them that are more mutable and flexible and bendable. So they have some direction. Gemini and Pisces. Okay, I just suddenly felt my lungs kind of tighten up when I thought of this combination. No offense, Gemini Pisces, you guys can make it work if you've got other good compatibility things, and you'll know if you do or if you don't, but you may relate to the following. So Gemini is an air sign. Gemini is a sign that does well in the realm of, many multiple social interactions, more of a surface interaction. They are known as being gossipy. They like to talk about other people and what other people are up to, and they like to be, in the mix, okay? Then you've got Pisces. Pisces is a water sign, and Pisces is the 12th sign. It's the last sign in the zodiac, and it's all about the oneness and the sort of bringing things all together, this joining, this merging. Pisces emotionally in a relationship, these people can be a little clingy. They can be they can feel like they're the type that want to merge with their partner totally and be totally, they can be very sentimental, and they're the ones that, can really appreciate mushy, sentimental poetry, or just kind of oozy, just all of it out there emotionally. And I'm speaking, I suppose, in a way that's coming from my own bias. I have an Aries moon, so. But they can be very emotionally emotive, very emotive. Okay. Gemini will feel asthmatic. That's why I was feeling it in my lungs. I was I can't get in a breath, or feel like they're drowning, sort of. Pisces, if you are the Pisces in this relationship, just be sure to respect Gemini's need for space and Gemini's need for keeping things a little bit more surface, a little bit more about the idea of love, and not so like you're trying to own their soul, or move into their soul, kind of a thing. I'll explain it. Okay. Anyway, long-term interaction between these two. I think I was just a little harsh right there in my opening. What will initially track them. Pisces is going to feel, as Pisces feels to most people initially at least, there is a sirenic quality to a Pisces, this mermaid, merman quality. Pisces, first of all, usually have these incredible eyes. If someone's strongly Pisces, their eyes are so soulful. They just pull you in. So the Gemini is going to appreciate this depth of the Pisces, okay, initially, or this sense that there's more to this person underneath the layers of their external, interface. The Pisces is going to appreciate the quickness of the Gemini. Pisces is more languid and slower moving, not like an earth sign, but they're just kind of more laid back, and they go with the flow. They're both mutable signs. They're both ones that are typically defer to their partner, or they'll defer to a situation. They'll lean in the direction of the flow of other people's behavior. Okay, so they'll have that in common. But where they're different is how they emotionally approach the world. Quite different. Okay, which brings us to their conflicts. So conflicts. You've got Gemini, who is very uncomfortable in the world of the merge. Okay, Gemini's the twins, so it's kind of like The Gemini's already got two of themselves to deal with, right? They got two. They got their one side, their Jekyll, and they got their Hyde. They're busy anyway. And that's why when they interface with a lot of different people, this person maybe brings that Jekyll, this person brings that Hyde, this person brings that Jekyll-Hyde combo. You know, I mean, that's why they need these mirrors of other people, these other relationships to see themselves more clearly. Pisces, when it comes to identity, has this ability to step into anyone else's identity. This is why we see so many actors and actresses and entertainers. They'll have strong Pisces, either they're Pisces Sun, Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising, or they'll have Neptune conjuncting or making a strong aspect to the Sun, the Moon, or the Rising sign. Or it's like, you know, if they're Pisces Rising, then they're a Neptune chart ruler, you know, or their 12th house will be really highlighted. This gives this ability to be like the vastness of the ocean. So if you imagine the ocean's humanity, there's all the drops of water in the ocean. It's like the Pisces is the ocean. They can step in. They can be any of these little drops. They can pull from it. That's what makes them good actors and actresses. But in relationship, it is, or I should say, in understanding your own personal identity, sometimes it's hard for them to know who am I? Who am I really? And Gemini's not necessarily great at that either. They both, because they're mutable, they both sort of look to other people to identify who it is that they are, but in different ways. So therein, that's why Pisces many times tries to merge with the partner. They try to like become one with the partner, and because then that gives them shape to their identity and gives them meaning and purpose. They know who they are relative to their relationship. And the Gemini is just looking for someone to sort of mirror with so that they can understand themselves better. And if it feels like someone's trying to encroach upon them, it feels emotionally really suffocating to the Gemini. Specific areas of conflict. I guess I sort of already outlined those. Just their basic modus operandi is different. Basic. Gemini needs partnership to understand themselves better through sort of that pairing, but they also need multiple experiences because they have like these two different sides. And then Pisces is nebulous. Their identity is more nebulous. And there's a very compassionate nature to Pisces, which is can be. Now remember, we're talking pure archetypes, so pure Gemini. Pure Pisces, the Pisces is going to be more the giving, compassionate one because, see, their identity comes from who they are relative to the relationship. So if they're caring for you and taking care of your needs, then they feel like they have value. There's that compassion, that love, and they want to make you comfort and at ease, and they see your soul, so they'll take care of you. Okay, they'll forgive you, they'll show up for you, this kind of thing. The Gemini is kind of, like I've said in other videos, is like the butterfly flitting from flower to flower and is there because, ooh, it's a pretty flower, and I'm going to go fly by, and it's, there's nectar in there, blah, blah, blah. Now they're on to the next thing, you know. And so it's just like fundamentally they're quite different. Doesn't mean this is not a match, right? If you've got moons that are happy, then you could be a match. If you've got Venuses that are happy, if your house overlays emphasize your partner's, the same element of your partner, perhaps you're a Pisces Sun, but let's say that Sun falls for you in the 3rd house. That's the Gemini house. Perhaps you're a Gemini Sun and your Gemini Sun falls in the 12th house, and you're going to be more of a compassionate, self-deprecating, humble Gemini. Not that Geminis aren't humble, but it will just give you more of a Piscean quality to your personality. So, you know, then it can work. Overall harmony between these two, they are mutable. They are both signs that are pretty easygoing from different places. Gemini is easygoing in that they don't take anything too seriously. You know, they're not gonna get too mad. If they get mad, they'll let it go. They're pretty forgiving. Whereas Pisces is compassionate, and they're forgiving from this place that they see your soul and they really see you as a whole being, and so they forgive you when you screw up. So, you know, they can kind of get along in that way. But overall, this is not my favorite combination unless, again, the moons are happy or you've got nice house overlays. And then finally, how will other people see this pairing? Yeah, you know, I mean, who cares, right? But just from an outsider's perspective, this could look like one where the Gemini is fluttering about, could be flirting and cheating even on the Pisces, and the Pisces might not know, or the Pisces might know and might be in sort of denial about it, or might just always forgive the Gemini and just always show up for the Gemini, and the Gemini just isn't really reciprocating that to the Pisces. That can be a flavor between these two. And, you know, but if their moons are in earthy signs, or their moons are in even water or something where you've got the Gemini with a watery moon, you know, Gemini with a Cancer moon or Gemini with a Scorpio moon, somebody who's got some depth to them, then this could possibly work long term. People would see that.